tell me your Mr. Policy.
Okay.
Not tell me your Mr. Policy.
So we were taking the derivative of this. And what we had done was we had plugged in 0, and we figured out that it was an indeterminate form.
Yes.
So you take the derivative of the top and the derivative of the bottom.
Yes.
So on top, you have to use what?
Chain.
It's going to be the
What?
chain.
Product rule.
Product.
You have to use the product rule, and that may have been what you said, Wynn. That's why I was like, huh?
Y'all were just mumbling.
So, derivative of sine is cosine
It's going to be cosine x.
times the cosine of x, so cosine squared x, plus sine times the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine.
This is an equation for something, isn't
It's
it?
1. Sine squared plus cosine squared is 1.
But now
This is minus.
Oh my gosh, this is mean.
Derivative of x is 1. Derivative of sine is cosine.
2.
And then you have to use what rule is it?
Change.
Chain rule. That's the chain rule. Derivative of what's inside is 2.
The internal.
What about high D low?
You only do low D high if I was taking the derivative of this whole thing. L'Hopital's rule says if it is equal to an indeterminate form, you just take the derivative of the top and the bottom.
We're finding the limit of 0.
Since we're finding the limits, we're not doing technically. I mean, we're using a derivative to find a limit. But you have to take the derivative. Yeah.
I know.
So we plug in 0. Cosine, if you use this little circle thing, cosine of 0 is, nope, that's backwards. Fine. Cosine of 0 is 1, so that's 1 squared. And if I plug in sine of 0, that's just 0. And this would be 1 plus 2. The cosine of 0 is 1, so that's 2 times 1. So this should be 1/3.
Cute.
Way easier. Okay, so the next one shows an example of having to do L'Hopital more than once.
More than once.
In one equation.
How do I find it?
Okay, so let's just do it once first. So first we're going to plug in 0 and make sure that it gives me the indeterminate form. So I have 2 cosine of 0 minus 2 cosine of 0 over 1 minus cosine of 0. Well, on top that's obviously 0. And cosine of 0 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So it gives us the indeterminate form. So I apply L'Hopital's rule. So you just take the derivative of the top over the derivative of the bottom. So derivative of cosine, negative sine, so negative 2 sine x. Again, derivative of cosine is negative sine, so plus. And derivative of 2x is 2, so it's 4 sine x. Yes. Thank you very much. That is a 2x. Over 1 plus sine x, because derivative of cosine is
Is
negative.
it 1?
I thought it was
1 still be there?
No, it would not.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
JK.
JK, that's right.
Then we can factor out.
Well, let's just plug in 0.
Dang.
Are we gonna
So
take
negative
another
2
So plug in 0. The derivative of sine at 0 is 0.
Cool.
So that's 0 plus 0 over 0.
Okay, maybe if you get it twice, it's just not meant to be.
Yeah. You know, it's
So,
0.
since when I plug in 0, it gives me another 0 over 0, we can do L'Hopital again.
So negative 2 cosine of x
Yes.
plus 8.
So derivative of sine is cosine. So -2 cosine x
I think it's losing
cosine
it.
of 2x.
minus 8
Minus.
cosine. Just kidding.
You could have done a line. You don't have to
Oh yeah, 8 cosine of 2x
Oh, cosine of x.
over cosine. What? When? Okay. Usually when she starts talking, I start going, oh man, where did I mess up? Okay.
We corrected you already.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys already did it. Thanks.
My pleasure.
So, so I plug in 0. I'm going to start writing that on your paper.
My pleasure.
My pleasure.
Ow!
Only if you give me above an 80.
Okay.
I'm tired of you giving
As long as it's not an 80.
I didn't give you anything. You earned whatever you got.
Okay, well, I'm tired of getting 80s.
Give her like
So,
an 80.1. So it's different.
cosine of x.
1.
So the cosine of 0 is 1, so that's a -2. And the cosine of 0 is 1 again, so -2 plus 8 over 1, which is 6.
Hold on. Look, hold on. Hold on.
Hold the door.
And it's
Wow. We made
I'm
quick
sorry.
work of these notes.
oh, never mind.
No,
What are
my
we gonna
brain
do
give
with
it
that?
a second.
Are we still gonna do calculus when the seniors leave?
Yes, because we'll still be preparing for the AP exam. After the AP exam, I'm done.
Oh, when's the? I thought the
Ours
AP.
May
May
like
4th.
AP calculus is May 4th.
There you
May
go.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Oh.
May 4th, I'll just...
Oh, you also don't, but your AP test on May 3rd because we have the physics C May 3rd.
What?
What?
So you know how we're signed up for 2 AP physics tests
Yeah.
because we're taking calculus.
Maybe I
So
should.
we take 2 AP physics tests.
On the same day?
No. So physics C is May 3rd, which is the test only, which is you only qualify if you take calculus and physics.
Right.
May 4th is AP calculus.
Uh-huh.
May 5th is AP lit and physics 1. And May
Okay.
6th is A push.
And then you also have your AP science. Like here.
It'll be okay. Because all you're going to concern yourself with is this one. No.
Yeah,
really
I looked
messed
this
up.
morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have signed up for that AP physics.
No.
I should
No, yes, you should have, because you're way more likely to pass that one than the other one.
which is crazy to me.
Because you can use calculus.
Well,
I'm glad I didn't.
Because
take
it's me, Brooklyn, and Jamie.
Okay, here we go.
Not Cameron.
Moving on.
Or Steven.
Shush. Algebraically, find the limit below as we did earlier in the course. Okay. When you do a limit as x approaches infinity, then what we did was we divided the top and the bottom by the variable that had the highest exponent.
Yes.
So it was limit as x approaches infinity of 4x squared divided by x squared
I don't remember.
minus
Okay. That was
5x over x squared over 1 over x squared minus 3x squared over x squared.
I don't remember.
I remember this.
So did they cancel so I can 4x over?
So you end up with 4
Okay.
minus 5 over x over 1 over x squared minus 3. So what happens is when you plug infinity into these,
They become like
when you divide a constant by infinity, it's 0.
Why did we divide by x squared again?
Because you divide by the height.
You divide by the one with the highest exponent.
Okay.
So the highest exponent was x squared, whether it's on top or bottom. So when I divide by infinity, they go away. So these two end up going to 0. So you end up with just 4 over -3, so it's -4/3.
Cool.
Now we
That's
have to
the
do
way we did do it. Now, also, we should know that this is a horizontal asymptote.
Wait,
Limit as x approaches infinity.
Mhm.
So these are same heavy.
Yeah.
So when they're same heavy, you take leading coefficient over leading coefficient.
That's such a good deal. I wish I did that.
So that is 4, because that's in front of the x squared, And on bottom, -3, because that's in front of the x squared. So -4/3.
So we could have just done that.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't
So an x approaching -infinity, when you do a limit, or approaching positive infinity, is a horizontal asymptote.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So that's just, this is a reminder.
So was little Hotel going there?
Yeah. Same thing. And so if we use L'Hopital,
I think you know better.
we would plug in infinity. A number times infinity squared is infinity. -5 times infinity, it's all infinity.
Yes.
So this is infinity over,
One.
that might be negative infinity,
Probably.
but it doesn't really even matter.
Yeah, it's still infinity over.
That's an indeterminate form.
Woo.
So if you have an indeterminate form, you can take the derivative of the top.
8x minus 5.
Yep, 8x minus 5 over -6x.
And 1 minus.
If I plug in infinity again, I still get infinity over infinity.
8 over -6.
So we gotta do it again.
Yep.
Great. So
So
now
8 over -6,
That's it.
which is -4/3.
Oh.
Notice you get the same thing.
Great.
Well,
Okay, when are people just going to accept maybe there's just not an answer? And
There
they're
is, and I showed you
stop.
3 different ways to do it.
Yeah,
Now,
but it took them 3 tries.
we are this close to being done, so like before, I'm going to write these notes out, post them, and you're going to have to take these notes on your own and be able to ask me some questions tomorrow since we're having a test. Those of you at home, we're having tests Thursday and Friday.
They are?
Mhm.
They don't have
I can't Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Because they always get, it's an extra day away because I post their notes later.
I forgot.
why can't theirs be Friday and Saturday?
That's
If you make me take a test on Saturday.
Because I'll get lots of mean emails.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going. I'm keep going.
Okay, great.
Use L'Hopital's rule to find blah.
Okay.
And then, using your knowledge of horizontal asymptotes of rational functions from pre-cal,
Oh, explain.
what would it be? Yeah, so look at it.
10x minus 1.
it's bottom heavy.
It's bottom heavy, so what should it be?
0.
0.
Hey!
Wait, what?
Over.
Yeah, if something is bottom heavy, the horizontal asymptote is 0.
So,
And
so
then
all
it's
I gotta
top
do.
heavy, what's that?
Top heavy was a slant asymptote,
Yeah.
and you had to divide it out.
Oh,
So, do I
It
do
would
I
it?
be-
don't like that.
Yeah, it would be, does not exist.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. It's all coming back.
I remember taking this test for algebra 2.
It's all coming back for algebra 2, but not for pre-cal? Mm.
Okay.
I had like a whole like
10x
added
minus
chart.
1.
Okay,
Or 9x squared minus.
so I will finish this and post it.
That was farther
That
away.
was way further away.
I hope one day you can make it.
I do too.
Like before you graduate.
Yeah.
Like I want you to come in here.
Like, we're just gonna, like,
rage in the classroom every day and let Daniel through.
That is totally cool.
I know, last
Maybe
week
you
you
should
have
keep
it.
it.
That's so
Another class.
close.
Then I can be in.
I was throwing it off the curb by judgment.